G'day. Got a bit of a different video for you today. Been getting into a bit of drifting lately, so I thought I'm not the best, but I'll give you some tips to get you going and what cars to download, some settings in Content Manager for Fat Smoke, got DD1 settings, some setup changes to make on the cars that I'll link to download to GravyGarage car pack, and a couple of driving tips and just second gear. Mainly the tracks are second gear, but I'm starting to expand my horizon of tracks now because I'm sort of getting a little bit good, but I'm sure people will critique me for not using the pro cars, but the GravyGarage cars, I'm only doing it for fun, so I'm not the best. Well, I've tried the pro cars now and I definitely need a handbrake, so I don't have a shifter, I haven't got a handbrake, so if this is something you want to sort of have a crack at, this is what this video is about, just beginner's tips from a beginner, I suppose. I've probably spent about maybe 10 hours, 12 hours maybe, so I could sort of get around the track. I could probably get 2 or 3 side laps around and without spinning out and stuff, but yeah, it's a bit of fun, and yeah, I've got some tips to sort of help you out and get you going. Cheers, let's get into it. Alright, so first up I'll show you some settings within Content Manager. So you're going to need 3 things for this, and if you're getting into mods, you're going to need them anyway. I'm not going to show you how to install the programs. There's hundreds of videos on YouTube how to install Content Manager, custom shaders page, which is CSP, and Sol, which is like a color correction filter. Alright, so you want to go into settings at the top here, go to custom shaders page across the top, particles FX, and then for the this is the settings for the cook smoke. So you get, I think this is the custom shaders patch. So you want new smoke and dust, active, tick, use culling to improve performance, tick, render in half resolution when possible. So I've done that because the recording software was struggling a little bit with frames, so I'll just turn a little bit of stuff down. But and then quantity limit, I think it's on 0 to start with, up to 120, so it makes the sort of smoke travel for a longer distance. On-screen size limit 80%, long-lasting smoke. So there you go. So it's gonna, you'll do half a lap and you'll see your smoke still hanging in the air on the other side of the track. And one other thing here, extra heating 200%. Showing mirrors, smoke from overheated brakes, that's it. So with this one, extra heating 200%. If you're going to do tandems or fly someone closely, I think it's probably not something to use because you can't even see tail lights like if you're right up on door. So it makes it quite hard. So I think when I'm tandem with a few mates, I normally turn that back to 0 just to help a little bit, and as well turn the quantity down to about 10%, just so I can trail a little bit better and get on door. And then if I'm going to record the replay, I'll turn that stuff back up before I load the replay. All right, with my Fanatec settings, I run a DD1. So I was lucky enough, a mate of mine was big into the drifting at one stage, so he gave me some rough settings and I sort of tuned around there. But I think 1080 on most wheels is going to be the go, and then just tune the rest to there. So I'll leave it on the screen here so you can take a screenshot and transfer it. I'm sure these sort of similar settings will work on most direct drives or even belt drive stuff, so I'm not sure, but it works pretty well. I just sort of float between feedback strength every now and then, just run 10% on the DD1. Like, you don't need big strength, just enough for a bit of feel. All right, I'll show you what I use on the on-car setup settings. All right, so for most of these GravyGarage cars, I'm doing the same sort of setup. Going straight into gears. Now, I learned this trick from, I think it was Horgan Racing. I'll link his YouTube channel as well. I'll probably learn a fair bit from him. So just while you're learning, just max the gearing to 4.8 to 1, so it brings the top speed down. So that means like you can just sort of hang in second gear, and with throttle response, it's still going to buzz the tyres up. And with all these gravy cars, it normally comes on slicks. So obviously when you get faster, you're going to progress, and you quicker on the wheel work, you can go quicker tyre. But most of the time I've been using Gravy Street tyre, and then always turbo on 100%, and drivetrain. This one comes based on 65, but even on the JZX, the next car I'll show you, I'm always using 80%. It just comes stock 100, and I just take 2 clicks back off that. But yeah, all right, let's get on track, and I'll give you some driving tips, eh? All right, let's try this. All right, so if you don't know already, these GravyGarage cars, I'll put the link in the description. As far as I'm aware, some people refer to them as cheated cars because they got like inertia helper within the mod, so it makes drifting a lot easier. So now, like, I'll struggle to go to the pro cars for that reason. So I'll just give you some starting out tips, but this is the car that I chose to sort of stick with for a bit, and it worked out pretty well. So the car's, it's just bang the limiter. You'll hear a lot of that, but yeah, when you're learning, I think yeah, it's probably best to just stick to one car and have a crack. But yeah, so I think I'll probably get racing because I'm no pro, but this is the stuff that I was using. So this is the track for it's a Assetto Corsa. It's not a mod track, it's a mod car. So first, there's a little bit of a loop track here, so you can probably just start doing this sort of stuff. Just practice one sort of loop, one sort of slide. The biggest tip I can give you, like I said, I'm no pro and I'm still a beginner, so I just thought I'd do a little video because me and a mate of mine, we're getting pretty good at this. Well, good in these cars anyway. So the biggest tip with the let go release, I'd say is don't fully let go of the wheel, because look what happens when you let go of the wheel. So it's going to want to flick and do what it wants. So I sort of keep a little bit of a light grip on the back of the wheel, so it still slips through your hands, but it sort of slows down the opposite lock effect. So you can see I've got the throttle on the right hand side of the tacho there in the blue. So you can see I'm sort of just modulating the throttle to keep the car on the track position where I want it. So I'm just staying in second gear. This is just tips that I've picked up. So same thing. I think when you're first starting, just to get used to the let go on the wheel and let it slip through your hands, just probably do some loops of this and see how you go. But so you can still sort of, it's a bit of an odd sensation to let go of the wheel and stuff, but I've always been a fan of drifting, so I just wanted to have a bit of a muck around on this. Like, I'm not paying for the bottom end bearings, but so you can still sort of take some lock off it, and it's quite a friendly car actually. It's quite a friendly car. Alright, so I'll take it to the other bit that I was practicing around the mate. So, because once you sort of got this go each ways, like, and not switchbacks, you just get a feel. So I joined a round lobby one night online, and they had these blokes going around this little loop track here. So, and it was pretty good to learn on because a bit of a switchback rotation and stuff. So what I learned is, say when you want to change the direction, off the throttle, back on, and then blip. And then don't be afraid to, I know every car's probably different, these GravyGarages are totally different because they've got the inertia control, but don't be afraid to just kiss the brake a little bit. So it's a good little track without having any mod tracks. See, I'm just kissing the brake there, just to slow it up a little bit, but it's still sliding. Like, I don't mean like 5-10% brake, so a little bit of a brake there just to get it in. I'm making it look pretty easy right now. So I'll just cut this a little bit, just to try and get onto the straight. Bit of a bum drag on the wall, which I can't always do like that. But yeah, I think once you get this sort of dialed, I think, to be honest, me and a mate, we probably, me personally, I probably spent about, I reckon, at least 80 hours before I got comfortable doing this sort of stuff. So the biggest thing is, it's pretty fun when you get it. Just don't give up. That's probably my biggest tip. Don't give up, because you'll get it eventually. Like, even now, because I've been driving these GravyGarage cars, I struggle in any of the pro cars because they're totally different, and they don't have that cheat effect. So I can slow it down with the brake, it's still sliding, get back on the throttle, because with that gearing change, it's going to be real responsive on the throttle, and buzz the tyres back up without having to dip the clutch. Like, to be honest, as you can see, I'm doing a bit of wheel work, and I don't have a shifter or handbrake. There's one track now I've been actually doing that's got in this next track I'm going to show you, where I'm plucking third sometimes as well. I'll show that video at the end of it. I've got some killer laps before. So, alright, I'll jump to the next track, eh? Alright, so same setup stuff for this one. So same deal, 4/8-1, and then GravyGarage Street tyres, and yeah, differ 80% on this one. So this is a good little track. Once you've mastered the Assetto Corsa drift track, you'll start to learn a bit of switchbacks. So a bit of brake there. Like I said, I'm no pro, but I'm just sort of passing on the tips that I've picked up. Bit of brake, then we're chucking a bit of third gear. So same sort of deal as the other track. I think you can sort of stay in second and just practice the transitions. I'm sort of flicking the wheel a little bit to get the change of direction happening, but more so you can sort of let go and just let the throttle do its thing, because you're already pointing the tyres in the right way where you want to go, and then just catch the opposite lock. It's one of those things you're not going to learn in 5 minutes. Like I say, I'm not the best still, but like these cars, like I said earlier, it's got the cheap mod, inertia or something in the mod from what I've heard, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Bit of brake, slow it down. I don't think I'll be doing comps because I haven't got a handbrake and all that stuff, but with the boys and have a bit of fun, it's quite good. Like I said earlier, I just don't fully let go of the wheel. Have a bit of a firm grip on the back of it. And so you can dab the brake a little bit to get the nose across. And I'm just modulating the throttle, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen there, right next to the tacho. This track's actually quite good at tandem while you're learning. So the more time you spend, the easier it gets with the wheel work, I think. Like watching the pro guys in real life do drifting, and the wheel work looks like they're on a Sunday drive, and I think I'm sort of trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to be best not to let the wheel get away from me, where I've still got control, as you can see, but I still can't do mungies. Mungie is the flick, like down a long straight from left to right. I still can't do that, but I've sort of worked out that you just sort of back off on the throttle and change the direction. And mind you, I'm not using clutch at this point either. It's just throttle and flick. Bit of third gear there, back to second. Alright, I hope that helps a bit anyway. I'll put up a bit of a clip on one of my prime laps around another track I've got, but yeah, I'll put all the links in the description with the videos, and if you want to see some more good drift cars and drift tracks, just let me know in the comments anyway. Alright, I had to chuck this one in for a laugh. I'll just get my audio fixed. That's better. Yeah, so this track I just downloaded 2 days ago. I'm already frothing it. I think it's Tamada V3, I think. So once you get good, this is definitely a track to have a crack at. It's that flowy, I still got time to click me paddles and change gears. I stuff it up quite regularly, but I don't know if it's a go-kart track, but I think it does exist in real life. It's quite fast. Oh, here we go, I might fluke this. Yeah, fluked it. I always say that. I'll do one more lap. Alright, well I hope this this video give you a bit of a look into drifting, and just it's all free content, you know what I mean? If you already got a Assetto content manager, just download it, have a crack. Just have a few beers with the boys and just have a bit of a laugh. It's actually quite fun when you start doing tandems and so on. It's actually quite good. Oh, come on, clutch. Yeah, so like I said earlier, if you want to see more drifting stuff and more cars and tracks and a few more tips when I get a bit better, just let me know in the comments. Oh, fence, no. Alright. Hope that helps. Cheers.